Hello, everyone. Welcome to Daily Dictation. This week, we're looking at the topic of online school. This video is for high intermediate English speakers, and it's really aimed at helping you practice your English skills. So it is really good if you are studying for an IELTS exam, TOEFL exam, really good for any kind of proficiency exam because online school is a topic that regularly comes up in these exams. So it's really good to know the language that you might have to use, the vocabulary and some of the grammar that comes with that. So that's what this video is going to teach you. Also, when you take these exams, there is a really big portion that goes towards your listening score, your listening abilities. And when you listen to something, you only have one or two chances, depending on the exam that you're taking. So you really want to have very good listening skills, and your ability to take notes as you listen is like essential. And what we do here is I read to you 5 sentences and you write down each sentence exactly how you hear it to practice your grammar skills, your spelling skills, your listening skills, your capitalization knowledge and everything like that. And so when it comes time for your exam, you're able to take down notes perfectly and you're able to get really high scores. So let's go ahead and get started. For this daily dictation exercise, it is best if you try to work on it daily. So I have new sentences every day for you, and there's new topics each week. So there's 5 videos, 5 weekdays a week where we study the same topics and the same words. And there's 2 English levels offered. So if the sentences in this video are a little bit too difficult, check the lower intermediate level and work on that. And there's a vocabulary list and practice worksheets available. Just check the link in the description. So instructions, you will need a blank piece of paper and a pencil. 5 sentences will be read. Each sentence will be read 3 times and 1 more time at the end. You have to write down each sentence the best that you can, and you will use your listening skills to do that. Try your best to apply the correct spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. After we write everything down, I will show you the answers and I will discuss some of the important grammar concepts, some spelling conventions, and things to help you achieve very good spelling and grammar while you're writing and while you're listening and taking notes. So let's get started. You will see 5 numbers here on the screen. Each number represents a different sentence that I will read. So we're going to start with sentence number 1. Number 1. Despite the challenges of remote education, the use of interactive learning tools has significantly improved student engagement and comprehension. Despite the challenges of remote education, the use of interactive learning tools has significantly improved student engagement and comprehension. Despite the challenges of remote education, the use of interactive learning tools has significantly improved student engagement and comprehension. Number 2. The university implemented a hybrid model to accommodate various learning styles and preferences, where they could ensure that students would benefit from both synchronous online sessions and asynchronous course materials. The university implemented a hybrid model to accommodate various learning styles and preferences, where they could ensure that students could benefit from both synchronous online sessions and asynchronous course materials. The university implemented a hybrid model to accommodate various learning styles and preferences, where they could ensure that students would benefit from both synchronous online sessions and asynchronous course materials. Number 3. The learning management system streamlined course delivery by integrating multimedia resources. The learning management system streamlined course delivery by integrating multimedia resources. The learning management system streamlined course delivery by integrating multimedia resources. Number 4, by incorporating multimedia elements into curriculum, instructors enhance the learning experience. By incorporating multimedia elements into the curriculum, instructors enhance the learning experience. By incorporating multimedia elements into the curriculum, instructors enhance the learning experience. Number 5, the discussion board became a central feature of the learning management system. The discussion board became a central feature of the learning management system. The discussion board became a central feature of the learning management system. The discussion board became a central feature of the learning management system. Now I will read each sentence one more time, starting with sentence number 1. Despite the challenges of remote education, the use of interactive learning tools has significantly improved student engagement and comprehension. Number 2. The university implemented a hybrid model to accommodate various learning styles and preferences, where they could ensure that students would benefit from both synchronous online sessions and asynchronous course materials. Number 3. The learning management system streamlined course delivery by integrating multimedia resources. Number 4. By incorporating multimedia elements into the curriculum, instructors enhance the learning experience. Number 5. The discussion board became a central feature of the learning management system. All right, let's get ready to check our answers. I'm sure everybody did a great job. So, if you found that it was a little bit fast, unclear in some parts, listen again, and if it was too fast, you can adjust the playback speed in the settings of the video to make it go slower. If you want to check a certain sentence again, check the description for timestamps, and this will help you listen to specific sentence numbers again without listening to the whole video again. But if you feel good, let's go ahead and get checking. So we're going to go through each sentence, what it should look like. Here's the first one. Despite the challenges of remote education, the use of interactive learning tools has significantly improved student engagement and comprehension. So for this one, because this is higher intermediate by now, you should know that each sentence starts with a capital letter and has a period at the end. This is essential. One of the more difficult things of punctuation is the commas. When do we put commas? How do we know comma rules? Of course, comma rules are very tricky because there's many different situations. Here's one situation. This sentence begins with a conjunction. And this conjunction signifies a dependent clause. So our dependent clause is right here. A dependent clause cannot stand alone. It cannot function by itself. It needs an independent clause to give more information to make the whole sentence make sense. So we're going to call this dependent. Our dependent clause. Now, the next part, the use of interactive learning tools has significantly improved student engagement and comprehension. This is our independent clause, because this will make perfect sense by itself without the dependent part. So if this sentence were just sitting by itself in a paragraph, it would make perfect sense. There's nothing grammatically wrong about that. If this sat by itself without this extra part over here, it would not make sense. So for that reason, this is dependent and this is independent because it could be independent by itself. Now, when the dependent clause comes first and the independent clause comes after, we need a comma to separate the clauses. However, if it comes in an opposite format, then we don't need a comma. That's why this is so difficult. So say, for example, we put the independent clause first. So you can say the use of interactive learning tools has significantly improved student engagement and comprehension, despite the challenges of remote education. In this sentence, we have the independent clause first, and then despite the challenges of remote education, that's the dependent clause. It comes second. There's no comma necessary. And this confuses a lot of people because a lot of people say, wow, this is a really long sentence. Are you sure we don't need a comma? We're sure, because that's the rule for grammar. So if it's independent plus dependent, no comma necessary. But in our case, for number one, it's dependent first, independent second. Then we must have a comma after the dependent clause. Let's have a look at our second sentence. This is a long one too. The university implemented a hybrid model to accommodate various learning styles and preferences, where they could ensure that students would benefit from both synchronous online sessions and asynchronous course materials. So we do need a comma here to separate it, just because there's so many connecting words, there's so many things going on. So this is our first idea. The university implemented a hybrid model to accommodate various learning styles and preferences, where they can ensure that students would benefit from both synchronous online sessions and asynchronous course materials. So this, we do need a comma here because we have other conjunctions like and in here in the second part. So we need to know where we can split up the ideas, one idea and then another idea. The university implemented a hybrid model to accommodate various learning styles and preferences. This is our first idea. Then our second idea, where they could ensure that students would benefit from both synchronous online sessions and asynchronous course materials. So that's why we need a comma here. Otherwise, whoa, it's hard to follow. Now let's look at this one. The learning management system streamlined course delivery by integrating multimedia resources. For this one, actually, this one isn't very difficult. As long as you study learning management system, because it seems like this is a lot of words here. Learning management system is one thing, and this is a specific thing, so we use article the because it's significant or specific. So here, this whole part, functions, that's our subject. Then we have our verb, and our verb is in the past tense. When you streamline something, you make something simpler and more efficient. That's what that means. Course delivery. Course delivery is the object of our sentence. Now we're providing more information. We're saying how this is done by integrating multimedia resources. When you're explaining how something is done and you use the preposition by, we often follow with verb in the progressive form, ing. Multimedia resources. This is a noun over here, multimedia resources. Number 4, by incorporating multimedia elements into the curriculum, instructors enhance the learning experience. So we see here, our preposition by is coming in the middle of everything. Very similar to the rule up here, we don't need a comma. But down here, it's starting. By incorporating multimedia elements into the curriculum, now we need a comma because of the order in which our clauses are coming. Instructors enhance the learning experience. And our rule still stands. We have the word by. We're talking about how something is being done. We're following with a verb in the progressive form. And enhance the learning experience. This is in simple past. So just because this is in progressive doesn't mean that this needs to be in progressive. This in past simple is just fine. Now let's look at number 5. The discussion board became a central feature of the learning management system. This sentence is not very complex. The discussion board, this is our subject, became simple past tense. That's a verb. A central feature. So this is our object, but here we have central, which is an adjective to give more context or description to the word feature. And we're giving even more information, feature of what? Providing more context of the learning management system. It just seems long because a lot of the phrases that we're learning this week have many words, and learning management system is one. That's quite long. But learning management system, we call it LMS for short, and it's usually one thing. So these are some of the things that you'll need to know. Now, let's go back to number 2 for a second, because this can be quite tricky if you're just learning English or you're still learning some things about it. I say synchronous and asynchronous. This makes the K sound. Synchronous. And this is not an I, it's a Y. So even though it makes the I sound, it's not actually going to work because there's too many consonants to follow. So we say synchronous, and this makes the I sound. Actually, it's Y. Now, these are really tricky words because they don't really follow the traditional conventions of English spelling. CH has so many different sounds in English. It's so tricky. So how can we split it up? So you're going to split it up into smaller parts. Synchronous, like that. And that splits it up perfectly and helps us remember. So, and if for asynchronous, you're just going to add an A at the front. If you split it up in smaller parts and really visualize how these smaller parts show up, you can even say it to yourself when you're spelling using the phonetic, like the basic phonetic sounds. So you can say cyan, tron, aus. If you really sound it out like that, that's what I used to do very often when I was a younger student, and that really helped me remember the spelling, and I recommend that you do the same. Don't pronounce it like this when you're speaking, but if you're trying to remember how to spell it, this is a really good tool to use. So you can say, even though it sounds a little bit funny, if it helps you, you should do it. Okay, so all these bold words are the words that we're studying this week, so let's have a closer look at those. So these are the words that we're going to be seeing in our dictation sentences: interactive learning, hybrid model, learning management system, multimedia, discussion board, synchronous, asynchronous, module. So these are the ones that we want to be very, very comfortable with, very, very confident with. Besides that, we are all finished for today. Keep on studying, keep on trying your best, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.